Yeah, hello everybody. That is the second video on narrative visualization where I introduce another paper. It is the paper Authoring Data-Driven Videos. It is almost exactly from the same authors like the first paper that I have presented. One could say that's a kind of follow-up paper. In the first video, I presented the paper where data videos were analyzed and the practice of the practitioners was characterized. And now this deep understanding was used to actually develop an authoring tools. I explained in the first video that for recognizability of this video series, I use one image from our own work, from Monique's work related to narrative medical visualization, but the focus here in this talk will be on this paper, Authoring Data-Driven Videos with Data Clips. That's the name of the tool that they have developed, and this is the teaser image. So you see it is about typical data that is available in tabular form, for example, can be presented with line charts, bar charts, donut charts, and so on. So different components can be integrated, can be inserted. A complex visualization can be created in a video step by step with more elements being included. Annotations play an important role. So that's the kind of domain where this set of data-driven videos is useful for. Yeah, after the introduction, I will provide an analysis of data videos based on how the authors analyzed data videos. You may remember from the first video there was also an analysis of data videos. So this one here is slightly different. The lens through which they analyze the data is a bit different. And then the main part is about the design and implementation of data clips, that is their tool, and the corresponding evaluation. So the contributions of this paper are that 70 data videos were carefully selected with respect to their elementary sequences, or one may also say with respect to their building blocks. Yeah, you really need to understand building blocks of these videos if you want to generate a tool that allows the automatic generation of such data videos. So the sequences are here categorized with respect to the role in the narrative and with respect to the visualization technique. So that is similar to the analysis they did for the first paper 2 years earlier. So, and then clips are created as elementary building blocks of data videos. So one may also say these are the reusable components. Yeah, they are provided in a kind of library and can be associated with certain data, and thus a more complex video is generated based on these elementary clips. The design and development of data clips is based on predefined story abstractions. Yeah, so that's also a major contribution. The evaluation is done in a very nice way. So the basic idea is they try to reproduce the videos that they have analyzed with data clips. Yeah, that should be possible to generate all of them. At least that would be an indicator that the tool is quite powerful. And another indicator that the tool is quite powerful is to compare this with baseline tools. Baseline tools are primarily Adobe Illustrator and After Effects as the tools that the professional storytellers use so frequently. So that builds on previous work, of course, on previous work on memorability and engagement in visualizations. Several references are provided for this. Maybe the one from Michel Bourquin is most important. It is based on experiences of experts with Adobe Illustrator and After Effects primarily, and also with previous tools that were already available to create videos. Yeah, there are video creation tools since a few decades. Yeah, that's not a very new thing. iMovie Trailer, Animoto, and many others. These two are mentioned here because they provide templates to arrange the content that is provided by the author. I made already a few comments how this paper relates to their previous own work on data videos 2 years before, Feretesh Amini in 2015, that was the Kai paper. At this time, there were already tools for authoring narrative visualization. Maybe the most important one is Ellipsis from Satya Narayan and Jeffrey Hare. But these are not specialized on data videos. Yeah, they are for narrative, but not for data videos. So the videos were selected from government side, from YouTube and Vimeo as essential video platforms. And they were searched with keywords such as data video or animated infographics. Yeah, that's how their selection actually arose. And the videos are segmented in elementary building blocks. So that's, one may say, the coding stage. Yeah. So the elementary building blocks relate to the creation of something. Something is inserted in a visualization or in the destruction. So it fades away, for example. There may be a loop. Yeah. So there is some cycling involved. There is embellishing. That means, for example, for a diagram that axes are labeled and grids are overlaid. So this is integrated step by step in the visualization. That would mean here that a clip is categorized as embellishing. Annotating would mean that you integrate labels, so that would be a textual annotation, but there could also be graphical annotations like arrows or encircling something. Transition, drill, and roll are further types of elementary building blocks. Yeah, creation most frequently is used, more than 40%. Annotating, accumulating, and cycling are also used in more than 10% of these 70 videos. Yeah, and these are the visualization types that are actually used. May remind you to the last video, the bar chart most frequently used. Pictographs, again, used quite frequently. We will see examples of this later in the talk. Line charts and pie charts or donut charts. So here they have summarized these two terms, also with a frequency of more than 10%. A few of the videos have map representations, colored, filled, or scaled icons. Yeah, so here are these pictographs, yeah, resembling human. There is a male variant and a female variant. Yeah, so here you see, for example, how this changed over time. Here we have just one male representing 50 persons, so that's the legend. And 14 years later, we have 6 males, so that means 300 persons and 200 females. Yeah, so that's an example how this could be used. This is another frequent example. There are gray pictographs and colored pictographs, and this is used to convey a portion, 2 of 10 or 5 of 9, that would remain, would denote a certain percentage. Yeah, here's another variant of denoting a certain percentage. Yeah, in medicine, this could be the number of persons with a certain health disorder, increased blood pressure, for example. Yeah, so that could be used for many applications. Also in business, then it relates to customers, or in education if it relates to students, for example. My own interest is always in health-related data, so I briefly thought about how could we use this for narrative medical visualization. Yeah, what are the design considerations for data clips? That is the tool they developed. Most important, they want to lower the barrier for authoring data videos. That means those people that are able to make good designs, create a narrative, think about how to engage the viewer, should also be enabled to actually realize a data video and not be forced to give everything they did, their designs, storyboards, sketches, and so on, to a person that is technically able to generate the data videos. That would be the situation that you would have without an easy-to-use tool. Templates are quite important. They want to emphasize pictographs, yeah, so that's why I explained them also a little bit more in detail. They thought that is an important design consideration because pictographs may help to personalize the data. It is a kind of visualization that is not as abstract as a line chart or bar chart. Data-driven attention cues should be supported. So you may remember from the last video that attention is really important. Movement, emphasis, and similar things. Yeah, that may help to engage viewers, and it may also help to progressively disclose annotations. So a complex visualization is generated step by step, a little bit as you would also be able to do this in PowerPoint. The templates should be customized. That should be supported very well with effective customization techniques so that a different look and feel can be adjusted, also different timings for fading axes or bars or other visualizations. If you compare this with PowerPoint, there you would have to do this on every slide. You cannot say in general, whenever I show a diagram of a certain type, I want to do this in an animation in the construction and destruction phase with certain properties and timings. That's what you cannot do there, but what they thought is important. The major components of data clips are a clip library. So that's a set of data-driven clips for all these elementary components like creation, destruction, and cycling. MyClips is how they call their workspace for previewing and sequencing clips. And then there is a configuration panel where data can be assigned to the clips and customized. Yeah, and that includes many things. Yeah, you see that I mentioned many terms here, and that is not everything. Icons, colors, fonts, annotations, and so on. Everything, every individual component can be customized. It's not necessary to do this. There are good default values, but you can customize this. The assignment of data enables filtering of rows and columns. So you see the focus on tabular data. The assignment of categorical and numerical values and annotation of the attributes. Yeah, so that is how data can be assigned to video clips. And that is implemented as a client-server system based on HTML, JavaScript, cascading style sheets, and D3 as the important and quite powerful information visualization library. Yeah, to show this a little bit more in detail and thus hopefully to give a little better understanding, here you see the clip library, the prepared elementary videos that you can use. You drag them to MyClips, that is your viewing area, your space where you actually create a video. So a longer video is generated by a composition, by a concatenation of smaller, simple, elementary videos from this clip library. Yeah. So the intended workflow is you first select clips, then define the sequence of the clips and configure them, which also includes that you assign the actual data to the clips. Yeah. So what you see here is a timeline-based visualization with labels, with grids, with a very clear headline. So that relates, by the way, to data from a conference statistics, yeah, how the number of authors changed over time. So here something special happened, so then it went down after a steady increase, and then it increases again. That's the number of authors of papers for the information visualization conference. Yeah. So, and here are further components. You remember that one design consideration was to extensively use these pictographs. That what was used here, for example, to convey the number of female authors that has increased, fortunately, from 16% only in 1999 to 45% in 2015. Yeah, for a single year, so here 2002 is chosen, a donut chart is used to represent the females, approximately a quarter of all authors in this year. Yeah, and that's the overall user interface. So I presented so far some parts of this image. Here I've used the whole image. You see the clip library, which provides a number of prepared elementary videos for donut charts, map views, pictographs, filled and colored pictographs, yeah, just based on the analysis that they did before. What are actually the components of the data videos, and their goal was we should be able to recreate them. So we have to provide all of the techniques that we found in the 70 data videos. Yeah, here is the space where you can design your video. So here are the elementary clips. I guess you may also change the order after the initial specification. So that's the sequencing. That of course shows that is restricted to a linear sequence. Most narrative visualizations have a linear sequence, but in particular for those that involve a little bit more interaction and flexibility, there could be also something like an elastic structure where the sequence is not strictly linear. Yeah, I suppose that this is not supported here very well. Yeah, and that's the clip configuration. I would not say that this is a very simple user interface. Yeah, it has to have some complexity because there are just so many things that the author must be able to customize. Yeah, so that involves some learning effort, and people get better over time. But I would claim that everything that is part of this user interface here is actually necessary. It's not a kind of complexity that you could very easily avoid. Maybe you could better hide some part of the complexity with an advanced options button or so that it is not immediately visible. That would be possible. But I guess that you really need all the possibilities here to adjust the data videos. Yeah, that's the clips library. Yeah, a little bit more an abstract view of it. They have 8 different clip types. That were the clip types that were discussed in the beginning of this talk based on the analysis of the 70 videos: creation, destruction, cycling, accumulation, and so on, and the 8 different visualization types. Yeah, and since it would be too complex to show a table with 64 entries as well as rows and columns, I decomposed this into 2 parts. So here you see the first 4 visualization types: line and area charts, bar charts, pie and donut charts, and map-based visualizations, and how they can be used for the different clip types. Yeah, what may happen there. And here is the second part, the remaining 4 visualization types. Again, the same 8 clip types. So here it starts again with creation, and here is destruction, yeah, where you see destroy icons and decolor icons or empty icons. So that happens in the last stage. And here are the other clip types and representations for pictographs, colored pictographs, scaled and filled icons. So you see how important these pictographs actually are in the videos that are generated with data clips. Yeah, I mentioned already the basic idea that they have for the evaluation. They wanted to know whether the experts are able to recreate the videos with their tool. The users had 2 hours time for this, and they used a certain kind of data as a basis. You may remember from the first video that was a very similar data, namely marriage statistics. Yeah, how marriages have developed over time, how divorces have developed over time, when gay marriages were allowed and how they developed over time. So in total, 20 data facts should be conveyed. The users were instructed in a standardized manner that took 50 to 20 minutes. And the creation process basically had 3 stages: idea generation, so that's a very creative stage; sketching, where you want to refine your ideas, express your ideas in a way that it can be communicated; and then the actual authoring process. Yeah. So these are examples of images used in the data videos related to the marriage statistics. Yeah, that relates to the US. It shows different numbers and frequencies in different countries of the US. So it starts here by June 2015. All US states legalized gay marriage, but how did we get there? Yeah, percentage of states with gay marriage in 1992, only a very few, and then how this number increased. And it's one thing to see how a number increases, and it's another thing to observe on a map how this map fills more and more with countries that allow gay marriage. Yeah, so that's an engaging story that they can convey with a data video based on the marriage statistics. Yeah, that's a quite good evaluation, very useful. Nevertheless, it has some limitations. It's a kind of qualitative evaluation that takes a longer time, and therefore you just cannot have too many persons. I have not recorded here the sample size, but it was rather small. The Adobe tools were used as baselines. That is in one aspect not ideal, because these tools provide many functions, not only functions for data videos. Yeah, so one may argue that these tools are overly complex if your only task is to create a video. Yeah, so that is a second limitation, one may say. But on the other hand, the experts are familiar with these tools, very familiar with these tools. If they would have to use a tool they are not familiar with, that would be even worse. So I think the decisions that they made for their evaluation, despite the limitations that I'm currently discussing, their decisions are very appropriate. Yeah, take-home message. I always think about what we can learn from this and what we should do in our own narrative visualizations. We should really carefully think about the data facts that we want to convey, not only the overall communicative intent, but also specific data facts that are important for the communicative goal. We should think about variants, how to convey these data facts. And in medical applications, we really should make use of pictographs in an extensive manner. At the end, like in the first video, the references. So here, this is a little bit more. Therefore, I emphasize the paper that I really have introduced. Feretesh Amini, Natalie Rich et al. Authoring data-driven videos with data clips, a paper that appeared in IEEE TVCG January 2017. So I guess it was a paper presented at the WIS conference 2016. That is based on their own previous work, based on work, for example, from Michel Bourquin on memorability in visualizations, another TVCG paper, and on other authoring tools, in particular for narrative visualization. And they described a little bit more in detail the ellipsis tool from Satyanaram and Jeffrey Herr. Thanks a lot for your attention.